Hello, my friends. Hello, my family. How are you? All my Facebook friends, those of you on YouTube, you have tuned in to the power of transformation. We meet here every Wednesday around 7 o'clock. And if you're on the East Coast, that's the time we start. And we have such amazing conversations. I always have good guests. And if I don't have the guests, then I am going to talk to you from the heart. And tonight, we're going to have a heart to heart chat. I know that we had said that I would have a guest, but we're going to reschedule her for another time. And we're just going to keep this train moving. Yes, you have joined the Power of Transformation train, and we're so happy that you're here. Did I tell you that I'm Dr. Obie? I'm your host. And guess what? Every week, we want to make sure our friends know that we are here. So we grab our phones, we do a little texting, we do a little tagging, and if you have time, only if you have time, you give them a call, and you'll let them know that the Power of Transformation is on, and they do not want to miss it. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to see you right back in just a few minutes. Okay, see you soon. Well, hello, and I'm glad you're back. This entire month, we have been celebrating women. Of course, this is National Women's Month. I have watched so many wonderful tributes. Yes, come on, give them us an applause. Absolutely. I will tell you, God is amazing because, of course, He gave women the purpose, and I call it purpose, to be able to bear children and bring life into the world. So that's just one of the things that makes us great. But He's just empowered us with so many gifts and talents. And I'm just grateful for us, and tonight I'm not going to stay on that topic very long, but I'm just grateful. I've watched a lot of really good tributes. And if you have not celebrated at least one woman who's made a great impact on your life, well, you still have time. It's March 20th. Right? In actuality, in my opinion, and this is just me, we should be celebrated all year. So guess what? Just pick a day every month. Celebrate that special woman. Celebrate another one every month. God loves us, and you need to show love to it. All right? Okay. Well, the heart to heart. It's important. It's March. We're getting ready to start a new season. We've already made some time shifts in my area. And I want to talk to you about seasons. This is actually my favorite season. It's springtime. Now, for many of us, we don't like this season because of the pollen and the time change, and we have a problem adjusting. I have that same problem. But what I really like about spring, really, you want to know? You want to know? Things start to bloom. Things start to blossom. The azalea trees are beautiful. The daisies are popping up. It's like a brand new outlook on life. Our days are getting longer. People seem to be a little bit happier. Of course, the grass is growing and you're going to have to go outside and do some maintenance. But it's a time of newness, new energy, new everything. And it's also a time for some spring cleaning. And I'm talking about the spring cleaning that you do when you get the black bags and you go through each closet and you go through each area of your house, and you have to have the black bags. You do. Why? Because if you use the transparent ones, you'll see something in there and you'll pull it out. And you don't need it. So go and get those really heavy black bags. I think you can get like 100, 150. Get you a couple of boxes. And let's do some spring cleaning. Let's go through our lives, physical lives. Let's get those bags and let's start throwing some things in the bags, because we can donate them to other people. And they can be blessed by the things that you and I have not used and or seen for years. Is it hard to do? For some of us, it is. It's really hard to embrace this new season by letting go of some things. But I'm telling you, I've done it, and I'm going to do it purposefully this year and just throw some things in the bag. Now, I will need a little push because I'm really good about throwing in the bag and sitting the bag on the floor. Don't be like me. Put it in the bag, fill it up, tie it up, put it in the car, and take it to where it can be donated. If it's trash, and some of it will be, take it to the dumpster. Why? This is a new season. And in this new season, we want to do even greater things, right? Mm-hmm. And as we move through the season and we're cleaning out our spaces and we're throwing away things we don't need, all we're doing is just opening up for God to do greater things in our lives. So we're preparing in this new season for new things. So what I want to share with you is a Bible study that I taught a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I asked the question, what are you doing in this season that is going to prepare you for your DUE season? And I was looking at Ecclesiastes 3:1, and I'm going to paraphrase, where King Solomon says that there is a time and a place for everything. It's a time for things to bloom and be pretty in my area, and I absolutely love it. Time that it's getting warmer. It's my time of year. Time for the spring cleaning, as I've already said. There's also a time for you to examine the people that are around you. I think it's easier for me, really easier for me to throw away some things I don't need. I haven't seen in a while, haven't used in a while. I think it's easier for me to do that than to get rid of some people that are out of season. But I want to talk about that. I want you to make a list of the folks who have been just sitting around. Every time you want to do something, they're not necessarily on board, but they're there. They may be a little bit negative. They may not have the same dreams. You can't talk to them at night because even if you talk to them for about 15 minutes, you're so tired you can't go to sleep. My question to you, is it your season to let them go and move on? That's the first question. I am not a psychologist and I am not a psychiatrist. But the question that really should be asked is, why are you holding on to them anyway? All right, that's kind of personal, but it's key. If you're going to clean up relationships, if you're going to clean up your life emotionally and mentally, you really have to start thinking about yourself first, absolutely. And then you have to think about your tribe, the people that are closest to you. Have you ever taken the time to sit down and jot down all the things that people are saying to you who spend the most time around you? That was a very difficult question. You spend time around 20 people. What are they saying to you? I mean, these are the folks that you hang out with all the time, your family, your friends. What are they saying? What are they imparting in your life? It was an exercise that I tried once. I was kind of surprised. If they're saying the same thing that they said 5 years ago, it might be time to examine the relationship. I'm not saying that you can completely get rid of them, but it might be time for you to ask yourself one question. What value are they bringing to my life again? I'm just asking you. Because if you're in this season where you're trying to do something, DO, to get to the DUE, you're going to have to make some room. And the room that you're going to have to make is the energy you're going to need to move forward. Some people, I love them. They're nice. They're just sweet as they can be. But Lord have mercy, they make very minimal contributions. They might have a place in your life. Maybe you don't need to kick them to the curb. Maybe you don't need to discredit them completely. Just examine their place and then respond in this new season a little bit more appropriately. We love them. They're great. But maybe they don't need as much time as we normally give them. Why? They may not be making as many contributions as you thought. It's not a bad thing, but it's an important thing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says there is a time and there is a season for everything. And I don't know about you, but the people who are around me, my tribe, people to whom I speak with on a daily basis or a regular basis, they have an influence on me. Some people don't want to admit it, but they have a great influence on you. We need to keep people around us who are moving in our direction, and we're kind of walking this life moving forward. We know that there are times when life is going to throw you a curveball. It's going to come from the left. It's going to come from the right. It could come from the north and the south. Absolutely. And we need people around us to help us through that time. But what you need and what I need really are people that are going to grow with us. We need to grow, and they need to grow. Will we grow at the same pace? Maybe not, but you still need to be growing. When I look outside and I see the green grass, it's alive. It's growing. When I see the little daisies, it's growing. When I saw the azaleas, it's growing. And it brings a newness to me and a new energy, and we're moving ahead. And why can't my tribe be the same way? Why can't my tribe start talking about, let's do something different this summer? Let's do something different. Or when you bring up an idea, instead of them going, oh, nobody wants to hear about that, you go, I need to re-examine this conversation. Don't back down from it. It could be a vision that the Lord has given you. Sometimes when people respond to you, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox, they're responding to you out of habit. That's just who they are. In this season, don't you allow their reaction to stop what you're trying to do. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's what's really important in this season and around this season is that you stay focused. Get that black bag and let's start doing some cleaning. I'm not saying that you need to be mean. I'm not saying that you need to destroy or dissolve any kind of relationship that's good for you. I'm saying examine. The Bible talks about examining ourselves. Put you on the examination table first. What are you doing to grow in this season? What are you doing to move forward in this season? What changes do you really need to make? And if you're like me, you've got some, then make them. Encourage yourself to make those changes. Will it be hard? Sometimes. But sometimes it will not. Sometimes it'll be just fun and you'll be out there just having a good time. And those folks that you used to talk to every day for 4 hours, well, maybe not 4 hours because that's a lot of time, maybe an hour, maybe two, maybe you only have about 15 or 20 minutes for them. And then when they talk to you, you're like, I don't talk to you anymore. We're not checking it anymore. You can say, well, I sent you a text because I was on my way to doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In other words, you're growing. You then can be the example for their growth. Because sometimes, during the winter months and fall, it's fall, in the winter it's cold and you don't want to go outside and you hibernate, and you have yourself, just a relaxing time. But now that it's spring, it's time for us to get energized in our spiritual life, in our financial life, emotional life, and our mental life. Everything, physical, everything can be energized now. And you can take on a different outlook on life. But see, because that's the gift that God gives us. When he gives us the opportunity to wake up every day, we decide what kind of outlook we're going to have. Is the outlook going to be a good one or not? Even in the midst of things going wrong, our outlook has to be pushy and positive, or pushy and pushy. In other words, keep going. Don't let it stop. We were talking about National Women's Month, and I was thinking about, all the women who have influenced me. Oh my goodness. So many of them have stood in the gap for me and held me up when I needed and were just great role models. Some of them were a little tough for the others. Some of them were really nice. But when I think of where I am right now in my life, I had some folks who knew how to spring clean. They knew how to get rid of the old, grab that garbage bag, clean up their house, clean up their life, clean up the situations around them. They knew what to do. And their ability to stand strong, sometime I'd go, how do you have the strength to do that? Well, it comes from knowing the God who said that he is going to be your strength, no matter what. And sometimes I'd sit in awe with many of my friends who kind of need to do some spring cleaning, of themselves and of their closets, but also particularly just of the folks around them. And I look at them and I say things like, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it. Maybe you have done what a lot of people have done. You've outgrown them. I was talking to someone once who was really into yards and landscaping. And they were talking about the optimal time to go out. There's an optimal time to make your grasses beautiful and get rid of all the crabgrass and all those other things. And there was a little formula, at this time of the year, I throw this out. This time of the year, I throw that out. Why? This time of the year, I have to have my fertilizer. It's the same thing. It wants the grass to look beautiful. There's a formula. Well, for us, there's also a formula. When you're waking up in this season, it may look a little different from what it did last year. I can reflect on last year, and it was pretty cool for me. But this year is even different. I feel like I have more opportunities. I feel like I have a greater vision, because that's exactly what I've been praying for, really. To be strong enough in this season to really stand up and do the things that God wants me to do, even if I'm a little afraid. Now, a lot of people don't like change. And I'm not talking about change for the sake of change. I'm talking about growth. I'm talking about your next steps. I'm talking about the next assignment. Because when you're throwing out things that you don't need, you're just preparing yourself for the next assignment. That closet, it's full of old things. You don't even like them anyway. If you like me, you've outgrown them, really outgrown them. Let somebody else enjoy them. Give yourself room for growth. Metaphorically, you deserve it. And so do I. Now, I know someone's looking at me going, oh, you're just making it sound so easy. No, I never said that it would be easy. When you're changing and you're moving through different things, scenarios, and you're trying to get yourself into a different place, sometimes it's not easy. But this is a new season. And a new season just affords us time to do things differently. Will you be afraid? Probably. Have some anxiety? Probably. But do it anyway. Try it anyway. Anyway, I would not be on this show right now if the old Paula had not been tossed aside. Because the old Paula would have said, I'm really good for the nonverbal rejection. Nah, I'm good with that. You see how expressive I am? I can just, tell myself and say, we're not doing that. But the new Paula, the one that I was working on, said, well, why not? Why not try it? Now, it took a while for me to be convinced, but it's become one of the most important things in my life. I look forward to Wednesdays. Why? Because in the Black trash can, I tossed in fear. In the black trash bag, I tossed in, I don't want to do something new. I just tossed it in there. And instead of placing it to the side, waiting for, I just took that to the trash can. Metaphorically, I just took it on out to the road. Because I don't want to be that person anymore who just misses the golden opportunities that God has for me. I don't want to be her. I want to continually grow. This is our season. Let that sink in for a second. This is your season. Many of you have been wanting this season to be here for years. You've said, I can't do it because. I can't do it because. Oh, maybe later. Oh, I'll think about it. Go back and read Ecclesiastes 3:1. There's a time and there's a season, I'm paraphrasing, for everything under the heavens. What if you and I are just one yes, I can, from that very next thing that God has for us? And yes, I'm not saying that you won't get discouraged at times. I'm not saying that you are going to have all the answers. It never happens that way. All I'm asking you to do is enjoy the fact that it is March. And for most of us in the country, it's springtime. It's warmer. There's a kind of a lightness in the air. It's giving us the opportunity to do some things differently. Of course, where I am, we've changed our time, and that takes a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm happy that the days are longer. Because in my neighborhood, when the days get longer, people start cooking out. They seem to be nicer. They're meeting and greeting each other. It's our time. So I did not bring a black trash bag to show you. That would have been cool. But I know you have a few. And if not, you know where to get them. It's our time. It's our season. So if you're saying that it's not your season, then I want to convince you, oh, yes, it is. This is a new season. And the new season can bring in new things for you. It can, if you desire. So, what if you are fine where you are and you don't necessarily need to improve anything? Life is grand, it's great. You're on top of everything. I applaud you. I'm going to give you applause now. I applaud you for doing that. But many of us are not there. Many of us are just starting to breathe some new air, and it has pollen, so we're struggling. But we're taking our allergy medication, and we're keeping it moving. Some of us are desperately in need of a new season. Some of us are desperately in need of new ideas, new thoughts. We're desperately in need of an emotional overhaul. I'm not saying that you need to do this by yourself. Maybe you do need to make an appointment with your therapist, with a therapist, and talk to somebody about building a tool chest with the right tools. Maybe this is your first step in getting to where you need to go. I personally know that it takes work. It just takes work. But it is so worth it, y'all. When I look at this new season, I want to be able to say that I've listened to the voice of God, that I'm preparing myself, that I'm throwing away things, not just physically from my closets and from the garage and all these other places. I'm cleaning up my car, I'm getting things detailed. But I also want to say that I'm preparing myself for the next assignment, for the next whatever it is. Why? Because it's my season. Because it's your season. King Solomon said so. Ecclesiastes 3:1, I keep saying that. because you need to go back and read it. And you can also even listen to it and read it daily if need be. Don't allow yourself to be left behind just because you don't have the energy. Find that energy. Whatever you need to do, let's find it. It's a little bit harder, of course, when you're talking about relationships than talking about cleaning out your closet. However, there is a plan. And the whole purpose and the whole plan is to get you renewed so that you can get yourself moving forward. I actually went to a seminar a few months ago, and we were asked about our vision. And I listened to all the ladies talk about their vision. Of course, I walked in there and I just wasn't sure what to say. And once she talked to me, the one she got to my spot and asked, well, what are you trying? What's your vision? I said, my vision is a reset. I need to do a reset. I don't know how I'm going to do all of this, but it's time for me to do a reset. And it was and is what's triggering me to have this conversation with you. Every time you need to do something like a reset, there's always someone there to help you. She's there to guide me. Every time you need to do a reset, you need to do what I have done and am doing every day. You need to talk to God. Spend some quality time with God and say, God, it's very simple. I'd like to kind of reset some things. I want to clean out some things. I need the energy and I need the motivation to let go. Not just physical things that are in my closet, but I need the motivation to let go of some relationships that are not nurturing anymore, that are kind of toxic. I need the ability to transform. There's that word. Transform my mind. And you know, that's what this show is based on. Transformation, Romans 12:2, where the excerpt said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, here's a formula that I'm using. You're welcome to use it. You are. When you wake up in the morning, you start moving, sit still. Say, well, good morning, God. I want to prepare for my day. Do you hear my attitude? Good morning, God. Now, I used to wake up, that's different. Good morning, God. And if you need some help, put some music on. And then as you are sitting there and you're talking to God and you're getting in a better mood, it's easy to pray. Just spend a few minutes. And by the time you get to your job, by the time you get to the next thing, you're going to be in a better mood. And he's going to help you through the day. That's resetting. That's transformation. That's moving forward. And as you continue to talk, the vision's going to come. You're going to start writing it down. And it may go like this. This is, I'm just giving you some tips. Saturday at 12 o'clock, I'm going to clean my closet. I need to do that. Closet number 1. Saturday at 6 o'clock. Now it's March Madness, so I have to work around that schedule. If you're a basketball fan like me, you got to work around that. Let's just be real. I'm gonna detail my car. 2 things I know I need to do. But I'm going to be in a good mood about it. In addition, to March Madness, that's just a side. I'm going to be in a good mood. And I'm going to embrace the new season. Because when you embrace the new season, or at least be open to the growth, you have no idea how things are going to turn out. You just don't want to put the brakes on this time of new beginnings, of this time of newness, or just the next step in your life. Don't put the brakes on it. Did you like my formula? Is it doable? Now, I will tell you something else. I also like to talk to God in the car. Why? I need some guidance. And in this season, I just want to make sure I put him first. The scripture said if you put him first, you seek him first, and all the other things will be added. So God, I just need you. I just want to talk to you about this. Get that plan to where you talk to him in a good place and in a good mood. Don't forget to tell him that you love him. Get that vision. Make it plain and write it down. And during this season where you're just cleaning, don't forget he'll be there to help you walk that bag all the way to the curb. Because, many of us like to sit it in the corner. It'll be time to push it all the way to the curb. So I hope that you enjoyed this and have some nuggets. I know some of you will come back a little later, but I seriously believe in my heart that what you're doing right now, if you follow the plan that God gives you, it's going to be a DOING that you're doing. That's going to prepare you for the DUE season, what you do and what God has waiting on you. I'm not saying that you clean out that closet to fill it back up, but if that's you, that's fine. Now, some of us are like, I'm getting rid of all my clothes, but I'm going shopping. Okay. But at least you're removing things, listen to me, that no longer mean anything to you. Hopefully, you're going to be filling it with clothes or things that have greater value to you. I believe that's important. And I appreciate you. Now, I said that I would always talk about my book. Yes. Adria's Transformation. I went like several months and I didn't talk about it at all. And then I went the entire month of February and talked about this book every week. And I had so many people just comment on it. And we gave the book away as gifts and we had prizes. But I'm going to tell you something about this book. This book is a result of me being open to the next season. That's why I can talk about it. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's in Audible format as well as paperback and hardback. If you want an autographed copy, you can send me a message on Facebook and I'll reach out to you and autograph it and get it to you. I could have said no, but I didn't. Remember, I took that fear, put it in that bag, anxiety, put it in that bag, all those questions, put it in that black bag, and took it to the curb and decided I'm going to walk. And God has just been really good to me. This book has really been a blessing. It is a Christian love story. Even though I spent the whole month of February talking about a Christian love story, I'm going to tell you again that it's Christians and love. And you really need to read it. I think you're going to be truly blessed by it. If you do have someone to whom you feel like whom I need to bless with this book, because you really, you've read it and you feel like someone else needs to be blessed by it, send me a message on Facebook. I'll connect with them. You never know what God has in store, especially in this season. And that's all I have for you tonight. I don't know what your next season is going to be. I don't. But you need to study Ecclesiastes 3:1 and just be ready. Go buy the bags. Get your spring cleaning done. Review your relationships. Evaluate them and see if you may need to do some spring cleaning in those areas. You just might. And make sure that you're open to hear what God has to say. And the only way that's going to happen is if you spend some time and talk to him. That should be daily. If you do that, then what I say to you every Wednesday around this time is this. You have to trust the process. So if you do what I ask, that's the process. And if you trust it, when you do that, that's when God comes in. Because that's when the power of transformation will grant you exactly what God has planned for you. That's when your mind will get renewed. But if you don't trust the process, you may not get there, but you have to. In order for the power of transformation to do its perfect work in your life. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm going to see you on next week. And we're going to have another special guest. And we're going to keep this train moving forward because we are the Power of Transformation train. I will see you soon. Take care. Good night.